Have you ever wondered what the most optimal place to sell final expense is? I know I have, and I've tried to search for the best areas to sell final expense pretty much my whole career, personally as well as recruiting agents. Honestly, the results of figuring out where the best areas are vary from agent to agent, from market to market. However, I can tell you one thing. I know which areas absolutely are horrible to work, and I'm going to tell you that coming right up. Greetings out there, it's Dave Duford at Final Expense Agent Mentor. Thank you so much for taking time to check out my video. So like I was saying, the thing that I'm concerned with when I recruit an agent into my business is making sure they are working the most optimal area to sell final expense in. We don't want to spend time working areas that give us the least odds of success. Now many agents will ask me, should I work in rural areas? Should I work in urban areas? Should I work in suburban areas? And I can tell you pretty much all of those areas generally have their pros and cons. And the thing is some people do very well in those areas where they wouldn't do well in others, and vice versa for other agents. So what I'm concerned with is make sure we don't target the worst areas. So what are the worst areas for final expense? Bottom line, the places that are the most miserable to sell final expense are high income areas. So what's a high income area? Hopefully it's pretty obvious. High income areas are where the wealthiest or the middle class and above live. Typically this is suburbia. If you're in a suburban area and you have a lot of McMansions or large houses or a lot of white collar professionals, this is not the kind of person that buys final expense. Now here's the thing. They're still going to send a card in even though they don't fit the profile of a buyer. Because we have plenty of people that fit 50 to 80, and they do have that income filter of 0 to 50,000, the typical final expense filter. But what you find is that filter, that metric in actually determining that income is highly prone to variation, to various results. What I mean by that is there's really no good way to accurately measure income. The way that the mail houses develop an income filter is just kind of through different sources, so it's not altogether perfect. So what happens is that you can get this mishmash of results, and even though these people return the card, their income really truly is high or their net worth is high, and they just don't have an urgency for the product. Let me tell you a story that I actually personally experienced the other day. I had mailed off some cards. This area wasn't a high-income area, it was actually a rural area. But I so happened to come across some white-collar professionals. Both worked. One sold real estate, the other worked at the local federal penitentiary. It's kind of interesting, actually. But the thing is their house was immaculate, their yard was immaculate. They lived in a super nice home with super nice furniture. And we sat down, and the reality is they own a ton of insurance from years in the past, and they just didn't have a reason to own more. That's kind of where I'm going with this. You see, final expense is most optimally sold to somebody who has not planned. They have went through their life avoiding the realities of our eventual and guaranteed demise. It's not until somebody finally keels over and dies, like a spouse or a loved one, that they realize they got to buy this stuff, that their life is mortal just as much as theirs was. And so those are the people we target, and the truth is the income really reflects that kind of mentality. Those with higher incomes typically are more prudent and have a longer sense of planning, whereas those with lower incomes just don't. It's just a reality. So make sure you do not target wealthy neighborhoods. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Whether you do urban, rural, hood, or the wood, as we like to say, it doesn't matter. Find an area where there are poor people and target it. And just go out there and work, because you're bound to find people who need this stuff in any of those areas. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is David Duford at Final Expense Agent Mentor. If you haven't already, click to the top here and join my newsletter, my No BS Final Expense newsletter. In that newsletter, I give all sorts of free information away just for joining. For example, I give free audio sales calls for you to listen to that I've actually completed, free appointment setting audios that you can listen to help critique and improve your own appointment setting skills, as well as free scripts. I really give a lot out just as my way of saying thank you for listening to my material and joining my list. So again, thanks for listening and watching this video, and we'll see you next time next week on my YouTube channel. Y'all take care. Thank you very much.